many verses in Shastra will be read, interpreted by members from one Sampradaya in one way, by members of other Sampradaya in another way. And there is place for such reading of reality. Some devotees, as we know from, let's say, Sri Sampradaya, their particular subjective take will be Vishnu is God and Krishna is an avatar of Vishnu. And interestingly, they will keep that view for eternity. They will get to Vaikuntha and they will still have that particular perspective, which is valid for eternity. So in one sense, there is place for such differences of opinion for eternity. While of course, we Gaudiyas will have our own points to make regarding Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam, and how Narayan is an Anga of Krishna and not the opposite. And we will have our own way of justifying that, and there is place for that in eternity as well. So this is a very interesting point that I'm trying to present in introduction to our particular Gaudiya take on Sri Jagannath and Sri Rath Yatra. For example, in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Sri Krishna-das Kaviraj Goswami is speaking about Mahaprabhu as none different from Krishna, and eventually he describes Sri Gaur Sundar as Paratattva Simha, which means the highest limit of the absolute truth. Then Krishna-das Kaviraj Goswami, interestingly, after saying such a thing, such a bold statement, this person who some other people may consider just one mere boy, special devotee from Bengal, but he's saying, no, he's actually Krishna in his most volcanic, ecstatic moment, the highest reach of the absolute in terms of experience of rasa. Krishna is tasting something as Gaur that he has not had an experience of in Braj, and so on. So after stating this and saying Paratattva Simha, that's Mahaprabhu, Krishna-das Kaviraj Goswami will say, to call him Shridhadakasai Vishnu does not add to his glory. But such words from the lips of a sincere devotee cannot be false, he mentions. All possibilities abide in him, for he is the primeval Lord. And some say that Krishna is an incarnation of Shridhadakasai Vishnu. None of these statements is impossible. Each is as correct as the others. Of course, with this, Krishna-das Kaviraj Goswami is not saying you can think whatever you like and that can be correct in eternity. But there are certain shastric parameters in which different phases of the absolute are possible in transcendence, and it's possible to conceive that aspect as the highest according to one's subjective view. The Srimad Bhagavatam is saying Srutekshita. Srutekshita means one will see through hearing. So we will see, or we will conceive different forms of the divine according to what the Shruti tells us, according to what revelation is describing to us. It's not that you can just think, okay, for me, God has this form and that form, and I can imagine whatever I like. No, there are certain parameters, certain shastric context, perimeter, and in that context, there are unlimited forms of the absolute, but not just anything, whatever I may like to think.